Hello, Katerina here today, and I'm so glad that you're here to join me. Today I'm going to be making a 5-star recipe, guaranteed. It is absolutely wonderful. It's my saffron risotto. It is the most expensive spice, but you don't need very much of it. And so we're going to get started. Okay, so first we're going to infuse the saffron. So we're just going to put a little bit in here. I'm a little bit generous with my saffron. I just love it. I'm going to just put a little bit more. You don't need much of it, but I want to be a little bit generous. And I'm going to infuse it with vegetable stock, which is what I'm going to be making my risotto with. So I've got it here boiling. It needs to be hot. And I am going to put it in the saffron. Okay, so let's get started. A tablespoon or 2 of olive oil. I'm going to eyeball it, and it's totally up to you what you prefer. We're going to let that cook just for a few minutes. And now we're going to add half a cup of dahlia onions, sweet onion. Okay, the 2 crushed garlic cloves. Give it a nice mix. Let it saute a little bit. Okay, so now that it's sauteed for a few minutes, we're going to add a little bit of salt just to help it sweat. A couple of teaspoons. A little bit of black pepper. Okay, so everything's nicely sauteed. Now so I'm toasting the arboreal rice just for a couple of minutes. Now, the only downfall, if I can say there is, with risotto is that you cannot leave the pot at all. From start to finish, you need to stay here. No telephone, no texting, nothing. You must stay here. Okay, nicely toasted. Now I'm going to add 1 cup of white wine. Okay, so the vegetable stock is hot and it's simmering. Now it needs to be hot. This way it'll continue on at the same time with your risotto. And you just add a ladle at a time, continuously mixing. Okay, so here's my saffron with the vegetable stock. Beautiful golden color. They've diffused beautifully, and now it's time to add it to my risotto. So my risotto's coming along beautifully, the golden yellow color. You can see the little strands of saffron, and I just slowly continue to add the warm vegetable stock and stir, and just keep doing it until you're completely done. I'm down to my last bit of vegetable stock, and I'm just going to let it cook. I'm going to taste it now just to make sure that it's okay, that it's cooked. Oh, it smells so good. Perfect. Now for me, it's seasoned perfectly, but this is the time for you to decide whether if you would like to add a little more salt or a little more pepper. Now would be the time. Beautiful. Now, okay, 2 tablespoons of butter. We're going to mix. Well, the butter has almost melted completely, and this would be the time to turn off your stove. It smells so good, and I love the color. Okay, 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese. Now your guests can add more if they like, but for the recipe, we're going to put a 1/4 cup of Parmigiano Reggiano. Now I add the basil. This is my basil from my garden. Okay. I like to add shaved Parmigiano on top of my risotto when I'm serving it. And they're so easy to make. You just take a vegetable peeler and you just go down And there you go. You've got little Parmigiano Reggiano shavings. Very easy. So this is how I would plate it. You can use it as a side dish or as a main dish, like what I'm doing today. And I'm going to just put some Parmigiano Reggiano shavings on top. Your family is going to love it. Look how beautiful that is. There's no reason why you cannot eat like a 5-star restaurant at home. And I'm just going to taste it for you. My pleasure. Delicious. Thank you so much for joining me today. From my home to yours.